What did happen? Hello guys, welcome back. Welcome. So we're making ah, I forgot to put this already. I'm going to be making this project. I've been so busy these days now. I have some project I'm working on, so I just need to hurry up. Hurry up. I need to hurry up. So today we're going to be working on Queen Annie neckline. Believe me, if this is something you've been wanting to work in, this is the right time for you to come join me live. Let's make our own Queen Annie. This project is for somebody, say client I'm working on. So hoping that we'll be able to. I'm going to be cutting. It's a long skirt, but I'll do it in a smaller version, just a short one. So by the time I'm cutting this on the fabric, I'll just go ahead and increase the length of the skirt. Okay, to not to waste my fabric too, not to waste my pattern too. So the measurement I'm going to be working with today is the shoulder measurement of 16 divided by 2. It's going to give me 8. Waist measurement 34 divided by 4. It's going to give me 8.5. Underbust of 34. The waist and the underbust is the same. The bust of 39 divided by 4 is going to give me 9.075. The hip of 46 divided by 4 is going to give me 11.5. The bust point, that's from the shoulder to the bust point, which is 14 inch. The half length we're going to be working with is 18 inch. The hip length is 27 inch. The upper arm, this is for the sleeve. The dress length is 64, including the hemming allowance. Okay. Underbust. The underbust length is 16, while the bust span is 8. Those are the measurements we're going to be needing for this project. So I'm sorry I'm coming late. I know. I've been so busy, and if you can see, we have something coming up. So I have project I'm working on, so I just needed to so let's go ahead and start. We're going to be starting up the top. Believe me, this tutorial is going to be one of the details tutorial you'll ever come across. Like I said, I always like to do my videos details. Okay, so finally I found my hip curve. My hip curve ruler. I've been looking for it. I could not get it. I've been using this one, even though it's not really good. So, sorry about that. So, this is what we're gonna start on. Good evening. Good evening. We're also gonna be needing our scissors. Okay, that's my paper scissors. So, this piece right here is gonna be for the skirts. And this part right here is going to be for the top. So we'll be able to just make the both top, the back and the front together. Okay, not together, but on this piece, I guess it's understandable. First thing I will always do is to draw. Look at my nails. Should have been working a lot today. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start by drawing up a straight line, which is going to be the shoulder line. I'm going to go ahead and just draw it up here like this. And if there's anything you're not understanding, kindly let me know at the comment section. So I'm going to go ahead and continue up like so. Okay. After drawing it up, When we are actually drafting up our pattern, or yeah, pattern, we always use 1/4 of the our measurement. I'm doing a Queen Annie neckline. All right, we always use 1/4 of the measurement. So what I'm going to do right now is, let me see, the volume is on. Yeah, it's loud and clear. So what I'm going to do right now is we're going to start off with the drafting tutorial. First thing I'm going to be doing is, the first measurement I'm going to be using is going to be the shoulder measurement. Shoulder measurement I'm working with is 16 divided by 2 is going to give me 8. I'm going to go ahead and mark that up. If there's anything you're not understanding, kindly let me know. I'm going to mark it up. I will go ahead now to slant it down by 1 inch for the shoulder slope. I'm going to move now to the armhole depth. Pooh. If you don't know how to get the armhole depth, what is that? If you don't know how to get the armhole depth, simply go ahead and divide round bust by uh, 6, then you add 1.5 inch to it. Okay. So the round bust I'm working with is 39. No, 39, yeah. It's 39 divided by 4, divided by 6, sorry, divided by 6 is going to give me 6.5. Then I will go ahead and add 1.5 inch to it plus 1.5, making it 8 inch. So normally it's the same like the shoulder. So after doing so, what we're going to do right now is to go ahead. We are going to connect this point to this point. But before we go ahead to connect this point to this point, we need to mark this 8 inch here, like this, 8 inch. I've just marked up my 8 inch. I'm going to go ahead and connect a straight line from this part, making sure it is as straight as possible, starting it from here all the way to this point. Then I'm going to roll another line here. Once I'm done doing so, the next thing we want to do is to go ahead. We're going to just mark up the basic neck depth and the basic neck width for now. I'm going to come here. Remember I said how to know the basic neck depth and the basic neck width is by dividing round neck by 6. In some cases, you can divide it by 6.28. I'm going to be marking 3 by 3 inch for now. And we mark. Once I'm done doing so, I'm going to come here like this and also mark that 3 inch to make sure everything is good to go. Then I'm going to go ahead and just connect it off like this using up my ruler. First of all, do it in the form of a square, then I'll go ahead and curve it out. I'm going to connect my shoulder slope as well. Okay, now that we are done connecting this part up in the form of a square, the next thing we want to do is to go ahead now and just curve it out, okay, like that, like so. All right, now that we are done connecting that up, we want to come here and measure or whatever we have here, which is 8 divided by 2 is going to give me 4. I'm going to go in by let me say 3/4 inch. I will come here on the chest line. I'm going to put 1/4 of the bust measurement. The round bust I'm working with is 34. So I'll go ahead and divide that 34 by 4. What happened here? How come it's, yeah, it's 34. 34 divided by 4 is going to give me 8.5. No, sorry. The round bust I'm working with is 39. Divided by 4 is going to give me 9.075. Almost 10 inch, but not 10 inch. I was like, why is it almost the same? Thank God I check it. If not, I would have gone ahead and messed up. Okay, so after marking up this point, I'm going to go ahead and connect it up like this and here, using up my curve, my French curve ruler. Like this, I'm just gonna go ahead and place it up like this, making sure everything is good to go, and voila. Now that we are done connecting that part, the next thing I'm going to do is to go ahead now. I'll measure from the shoulder to the bust point, shoulder to the under bust, shoulder to the half length of it, or shoulder to the waist if you prefer that. So my shoulder to the bust point, the bust point, the bust point, the bust point. I'm working with, where is it? Mm. The bust point I'm working with is 14 inch. Yeah, mm. Which is quite very long, eh? 14 inch cannot be 14 inch. And this fabric, total length I'm working in, the half length I'm working with is gonna be, it cannot be, something is wrong somewhere. I didn't take that measurement right. Let me check the next thing. Guys, somewhere I can make a mistake somewhere. So yeah, it can be. The bust point can never, it's too much. 14 inch for me, it's too much. But anyway, I'm going to use bust point 14 inch. Nah. I'm going to use a bust point of 13 inch. No, 13 inch. So it cannot be 14 if anything. Just, yeah. No, I'm going to be using a bust point of 13 inch. The under bust length I'm working with, where is the under bust? 16 inch. 16 inch. And then half length I'm working with is 18 inch, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, half length is 18 inch. I'm going to be adding up 1 inch because we'll be needing this 1 inch to add it up to the dress. Okay, so the half length I'm working with is 18 inch. I added 1 inch to make it 19 inch. I'll connect those points up with straight lines, making sure everything is neat and good to go. Alright, once I'm done doing so, the next thing I'm going to do right now is to go ahead and put the nipple to nipple or the bust band separation. So the bust band I'm working with is 8. Divided by 2 is going to give me 4. I'm going to mark. I'm going to mark. You can also come here and do the same thing. Mark. I will rule a straight line like this, making sure it's straight. No, let me rule a straight line starting from the bust point all the way straight downward. Now, after doing so, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be creating up my dart. I just want to make this dress. I'm not going to be padding it, but instead I'm going to use it just a little bit of form for it, because the person I'm working on is quite very bossy. So bossy, not really bossy, because the boss working on is 39. I don't know the type of form I'm going to be using, but it's just that tiny one. Now I'm going to be using a dart. First of all, I'm going to come here. I'll be marking ½ inch towards the center, ½ inch. Now at the bust point, I'm going to go down by 1 inch to create ease around there, 1 inch. And then this other side, I'm going to be doing you can do 1.5 inch. I'm going to do 1 inch, 1 inch. Now, this is how I'm going to be connecting it up, making sure it is not too curvy, but it should be curvy. Okay, so I'm going to connect these points up. I'm going to come here and connect these points up. Remember, I said how to know the exact depth measurement you'll be needing is by minus your bust measurement from the underbust. For example, the underbust I'm working with is 34 and the bust I'm working with is 39. So minus from there is going to give me 5 inch. That 5 inch you divide it into 2, you'll be left with 2.5 inch. 2.5 you divide it again by 2. That's how you go ahead to know the exact measurement you'll be needing for your dart. Okay, so when you the final result, like for example, the bust I'm working with is 39 and then the under bust is 34. So if I take the bust minus the under bust, which I will be left with equals to 39 minus 34, I'll be left with 5 inch. 5 inch divided by 2 is going to give me 2.5. 2.5 again divided again by 2. That is going to be the final answer. For example, 2.5 divided by 2 is going to give me 1.025. Yeah. So that is what the final answer, that's what you're going to be using for your DAS. All right. Remember, underbust, a bust minus underbust, because I know some of you still come back to ask me this same question. Okay. Your bust minus your underbust to know the exact depth measurement you'll be needing. Because sometimes you just say, go ahead and use 1.5 inch, go ahead and use a half inch, go ahead. It's good for you to know exactly what you're working on, right? What you really need. Let me try to zoom. Can I zoom this? No, I cannot zoom this. Oh. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to the chest line. First of all, from the bust point line, I'm going to go up by 1 inch. Let's first of all just roll that line straight up all the way to this point. So from the bust point line, I'm going to go up by 1 inch to create ease to around there. Now, after going up by 1 inch, the next thing I'm going to do is to come here. You want to come here and decide how higher you want it to be or how low you want it to be. Oh, I'm actually using the phone. I should have shown you guys the style. So the style I'm working with is kind of a sweetheart. It's not kind, it's a sweetheart. It's a sweetheart. So it's a sweetheart, but a little bit pronounced. I'm going to come up here. I'll go up by 2 inch, 2.5 inch. Yeah, 2.5 inches too much. 2.5 inch. It's good to go. Let's see. Let me do 2. Now I'm gonna do. Now I'm gonna do 2.5 inch. So connect these points up with a straight line, like that. Now I'm going to go ahead now and create up my darts. I'm still thinking maybe 2.5 inches too much. Now I'm going to do 2 inch. Sorry, I'll be doing 2 inch, meaning that this line I'm going to be using it. I'll be doing 2 inch. So this is my original line. This one. All right. I'm thinking if I had, where is that thing? Eraser to erase this. I don't know where it is. I don't know where it is. I have one. So I'm not going to be using this line right here. I'm not going to be using this line right there. I'm not going to be using it. From that 2 inch, I went up. The next thing I want to do is to come here like this. I will mark 1/2 inch, and I'm going to come here and mark 1 inch. Now, I am going to go ahead and connect it up from that this point here, from the 1 inch I went up from the bust point. And I'm going to do the same thing right there. You can use your curvy part. Where is that other ruler? Anyway, I'm going to be using this one. It's good to go. Make sure it should not be too curvy. So now, once I am done doing so, the next thing I want to do is to go ahead now. You can create a sweetheart. Okay, you can do a sweetheart. You can leave it up like this depending on what you want to work on. The project I'm working on is a sweetheart, so I don't know if she was too deep, but it's not too deep. I'm going to, from the chest line, just see from that line, that 2 inch I went up, I'm going to measure 3 inch. It should not be too deep, 3.5 inch downward. Then connect it up like this. It's too much deep. It's deep. I'm gonna do 3 inch. I don't want it to be too deep. The style is not too deep, so I'm just gonna go ahead and connect from this point all the way to this 3 inch I've just marked here, using up my curve ruler, my French curve. You can go ahead, like I said, you can do it straight. So this is my French curve. I've just connected it up like that. That's my sweet. So now coming here now, remember that we have taken up this dot here. Automatically it's going to affect this part. If we just go ahead and draw it up like this, you'll see that by the time you sew it, it's going to affect this, I mean, the shoulder here and the armhole. So this 1.5 that I use here, I'm going to extend it up here. Okay, don't make that mistake. Make sure that whatever you borrow for your dots, you're going to go ahead and extend it up, and we'll be creating up a new armhole. So I'm going to come here, this 1.5, I'll come here and also mark 1.5 here at the armhole depth line. Then I'm going to come here and also extend that 1.5 from this part here, from the inner part here, from here. Okay, I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say. So let me connect that line all the way to this point. Make sure that you replace it back, because if not, by the time you stitch it, it'll be like kind of ooh. So now what I'm going to do is, I want to come here from the shoulder slope. I'm also going to go ahead and extend that 1.5. 1.5. So I'm going to connect this up like this, making it, this is our new armhole. Take your time, take your time. Don't rush yourself over anything. This is our new armhole. So I'm just going to go ahead and connect these points up like this. From this line, where is the line? This point up. Okay, now this is our new armhole we're going to be using, meaning that if we go ahead now and cut this up, use it to a pattern, we're not going to have any issue. Now from this, our new armhole, what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure 2.5 inch inward. If you want yours to be wider, you can go ahead and do wider. Okay, now you can either go ahead now. Let me reconnect these points up like that. So remember that we have actually increased this part here. So what we want to do is from this point, we are going to go in by this as well, making sure that you go in from this here. I'm going to go in here, making sure we go in. Now you can go ahead and connect these points up like that with a straight line. You can do it up with a curvy line. Anything you want to do there, you can do something like this. Right, inward, you can do it up like this, curvy. You can do it up like this, a straight line. You see what I've just done now? I don't know whether this tie was straight, but anyway, it's still a princess that I'm thinking. Was it curvy? No, I'm gonna do straight. So I'm just gonna go ahead and connect it from this point all the way to this point, like that, like this. You see what I've just done there, right? This is what we have. Now that we are done connecting this part off, you can make yours wider. Instead of going in by 2.5, you can make it 3 inch, okay, depending on you. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to be putting the measurement. Round bust I'm working with is 39 divided by 4. Remember that we actually have to replace back the new armhole. So the measurement we're going to be using is going to start from, we're going to end here, all right? Not this one, because we actually have used this, that we replace it back here so that it will not affect our fabric or our pattern. Okay, so I'm going to put round bust divided by 4. Let's just assume it's there, this part here. I'm not going to be adding up, this. I'm not going to be adding up, I'm not going to be adding up my sewing allowance. I will do that, rather I'm going to do that on my fabric. So the round that bust I'm working with is 34 divided by 4 is going to give me 8.5. I'm going to go back and replace back this 1.5 inch we took for our dart. Remember, I'm not adding up my dart allowance. The round bust and the waistline is the same. I'm also going to go ahead and replace back that allowance. Why am I not adding up my sewing allowance? Because I've actually realized that when I add it up here, this center point, you don't have any sewing allowance, which make it to be smaller. So I'm going to simply go ahead, I'll be adding it up on my fabric when I am cutting it, so that I'll equally share all the pieces, all the measurement, all the what? All the allowance equally. So at the center point, if for example, if I'm adding 1 inch at the side, I'm not going to add 1 inch here, okay? I'm going to be adding maybe, let's just say 3/4 inch, 3/4 inch both sides. When you add it, make sure that by the time you're stitching it, you should minus that allowance, all right? So I'm just going to go ahead and connect this like that, so you can see. All right, this is it. So I have my 1 and I have 2. We are not going to be, the yoke is being joined together. It's not a separate yoke, okay? So we are done with the front piece. We're going to go now and draft up the back piece. Now to make the back, I'm going to start from here, going in there. First of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift up my zipper allowance, which I always forgot to do so. So now I'll be leaving up my zipper allowance. I'm going to leave about 1 inch for the zipper allowance. Then my measurement will start from this 1 inch inward. Now I'm going going to take my shoulder, which is 16, divided by 2, which is going to give me 8. I will slant it down by 1 inch for the shoulder slope. The same thing we did at the front. I'm going to move on to the armhole depth, which is 8 inch. Then I'm going to come here like this and make sure that I mark that 8 inch. Why is it that it's different from here? Ooh, let's see. So I'm going to come here like this and make sure that I mark that 8 inch. 8 inch. If it is not straight, then 8 inch, yeah, straight from that point. Oh, like that. And I'm going to go a line up straight, making sure that I have my exact armhole depth measurement. Now that we are done doing so, we're going to mark the basic neck depth of 1 inch for now. I'm gonna do 1 inch for now. Basic neck width of 3 inch. Remember, we did 3 inch. Then connect it up like this. Connect it up like so, from this part all the way to here. Then connect it up from here to here like this. Now I'm going to go ahead for the back point. For the back piece, we don't need bust point, blah blah blah. We're just going to go ahead and mark from the shoulder to the under bust. That we're going to be needing up. Under bust, which is 13, bust 14. No, under bust is what? Where's the under bust, Anita? Under bust, under bust is 16. The length we're working with is 18, but I added 1 inch, making it 19 inch. A row straight line, a row another line. Now we're going to put the nipple to nipple, or bust band separation, whatever you call it. The nipple to nipple I'm working with is 8 divided by 2 is going to give 4, and connect with a straight line all the way straight downward. Now I'm going to be using a dart of half inch. Half inch, or 3/4 inch. 3/4 inch. Then we're just going to go ahead and connect it all the way to the top. Remember, this is the back. Okay, now that we are done connecting it all the way to the back. Oh, what happened here? I'm going to measure up whatever I have there and divide it by 2, which is 8 divided by 2 is going to give me 4. Normally, for the back, we don't go in, but I also like to just do, to avoid any kind of funny bogish around there, I also like to just go in by 0.25, okay? Not even half inch. So I'm going to put 1/4 of the bust measurement, which is 39 divided by 4 is going to give me 9.0275. 9.075. I'm just going to go ahead and connect these points up like this. See, the line is kind of very tiny. This is just going to prevent any funny bogish around there. Normally, what we do is just to connect it from this part, but I always like to go in by 0.25, okay? Now, what I'm going to do, I don't want it to be too open, so I'm going to, no, it's not, she said, no, it's not going to be too open, okay? So I will go down by, is it 6.5 inch? Just roll this line up like that, straight line. Now remember that at the front we did measure up 2.5. We're going to still do the same thing to the back. Okay, 2.5 inch from this line. Was it 2.5? Yeah, 2.5 inch. 2.5 inch. So make sure that we also have the same thing. 2.5 inch. Now from this part, remember that we also went in by 1.5. We want to make sure that we have everything almost the same thing. 1.5. You can go ahead and just do it up like this, connect it up like this, pin. But remember that this is the back. If you do it up like this, we're almost going to have the same like the back, like the front, except of the sweetheart shape. But we don't want to have a sweetheart shape. Let's do something different, huh? Let's do something different. Okay, so what we're going to do is to come here. I'm going to be creating a little bit of loops, yeah, so that'll be adding up. But I hope she's going to love it. Yeah, definitely, I hope so. So I'm going to come from here. I will go down by, you can do 1 inch. I'm going to go down by 1.5 inch. Okay, so we are kind of just going to go ahead and do something like this. Like this. Yeah. You see what I've just done there? I'm thinking instead of doing 1.5, I can do 1 inch to make it a little bit. Let me do 1.025 to make it a little bit tiny, very tiny. So I'm gonna just do like this. From that, I went up again by 0.25. Oh, Anita, you just messed up. Ooh, why are you? All right, so this is gonna be the yoke of the back. You see. Now let's go ahead and put our measurement. We're gonna put 1/4 of the bust, which we already did 9.025. Remember, I said I'm going to be adding up my data on the pieces. The back, just you can just make it 2 pieces. So I'm going to be marking up this up. Remember, I'm going to go ahead and mark under bust divided by this, which is 34. Then I'll replace back 3/4 inch, 3/4 inch both sides, making it 1.5 inch. The waist is the same. 8, then 3/4 inch, 3/4 inch both sides. Yeah, making it 1.5. I'm just checking it because sometimes I'll actually making it so. Now, if I do this up like this, you look at that it's having a little bit of funny shape. So what I'm going to do is, let's see. I don't want to have funny shape looking there like one on medium marker. So this is it. Oh, I'm just going to go ahead and extend 1/2 inch here, making sure I'm going to, I don't want it to be the same, okay? I'm going to do just 1/2 inch to make sure that it's same, yeah? Remember, we did not add anything here, and the dark is not getting close there, so this point should be like that. All right, so this is the side front, and here is the side back, which is going to be the 4 and the 3 center back. Now we're going to have to, we have to arrange this up in a certain way that when we add up a zipper, I hope that the zipper, my zipper, the zipper I'm going to longer, because let me not create something that adding up a zipper. So I am thinking, these are all the zipper I have at home, and it's a dress, the zipper needs to belong. So you know something, Yeah, Anita. I just want to start from here. Yeah, this is the yoke. Start from here. But better still, I don't think it's going to get there. Oh my god. And I went to the shop yesterday. I was get. I don't know what I'm going to do. Huh? I think I may just have to change the style of the back, this design of the back, because my zippers are not long enough. The zipper are not long enough. Ooh. Because normally when you're making up a dress, the zipper needs to get to the hip. If not, there's no way it's going to pass. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Anita, por favor. Let's see what we have there. 18 inch. I think I have a little. This one that is sleeping. I don't know. I'll let her check it later. If not, okay. Know something. We have to increase this up. Increase this part. So instead, I'm just gonna, instead of going down by 6.5, after all, it's not for me. So it needs to be wider. I'm gonna do 7.5 inch, 1 inch more. Why are you not coming out now, my friend? 1 inch more, so that at least one inch more. That way, I'm sure that the zipper will be able to be enough. If not, I'm just gonna. She wanted it to be an open back. I just decided, let me pick up something different. All right, now that we are done with that part, we have to at least to arrange the zipper allowance, because if not, it's going to have a little bit, we are going to have a funny looking puffing bulge at the back. So what I have there, I'm just going to measure this distance from here to here to the half length, which is 11.5. Divide it by 2. 11.5 divided by 2 is going to give me 5.075. Remember, this is a zipper allowance, so zipper allowance. Let me mark that 1 inch, making sure I have only 1 inch for that zipper allowance. Nothing much, nothing less. 1 inch. That point, connect it up like this, so you see how I'm going to be arranging that zipper up, so that when you put on your dress, everything should be flat. Why are you not coming out now, my friend? So this is the midpoint of 11.5 inch. Now, this is the midpoint of the 11.5 inch. From that 11.5 inch, we're going to go in by 1/2 inch. And take note, if you're going to be using loops for this project, you're not going to be adding up a zipper. Instead, you need to minus at least 2 inch. You need to minus 2 inch from your pattern. The lowest you can minus should be 1.5 inch. All right, so I've just come in by 1/2 inch, but me, I'm going to be using a zipper. I'm going to come like that and connect it up like this. This way, we're going to eliminate the zipper bulge down there. I don't know why this pen is not coming out. Let me close it. Right, so that just is. Let me connect this part up like that. this other bold marker is way too big. Okay, we have the cup done. I'm going to be cutting it, and we have its number already. Look at how I'm going to be cutting it, so you not go ahead and make a mistake while cutting yours. Alright. Cutting it from my armhole, my new armhole, not the first one, like that. Remember I said this, we're going to be, actually we're not going to be doing the yoke separately. Almost like, you see. I was like, okay, this one, no, this one, yeah, this is the one we're going to be needing, the one we're going to be using. I already go ahead and level them up. I'm going to be cutting my darts. You did not even ask her what type of brush is going to be putting on. You know, sometimes when your client come and take measurement, make sure to ask her if that's the same brush they're going to be using. Because sometimes you realize that they'll come and take measurement. You know? By the time they come now to measure the dress, it's now small because of the bra. Okay. I did not show you well. This is it. This is this part. Right? The back is quite very easy. What you can do. What you can do. You may even decide to change the back later on, depending if the zipper is enough or not. The second line? Yeah, it's the second line, not the first line. So the back is going to be open. She didn't really tell me how she wanted the back, so I decided to do something a little bit stylish. Okay. You can choose to cut the back into 2 pieces. You can just leave it up like that. There's one thing I have forgotten. And you guys do not even remember me Tell me that. Okay. The side that's going to be joining, yeah. Why is this one shorter than this one, Anita? What happened? I took 18-inch. How come it's been short? 18-inch. I mean, that one was not 18-inch. 18.5-inch. It's 18.025. But this side is supposed to be freaking the same. It's shorter. So guys, we're going to go ahead and reconnect that part of that is being short to avoid any funny looks around there. So like I said, I can decide to change the back later on depending on my zipper. You know what, I'm not going to reduce it, but instead I'm going to just round it and add all what is lacking. Normally it was 19-inch. Oh, this one is still coming out. Gonna place to make sure it's the same. Normally the side seams is supposed to be the same. Normally, because if not, I'll just rule a straight line right there and oh, that's good. And I'm gonna cutting that up, but there's still one little adjustment you still need to do at the back. Okay. Now, before we move to the skirt, this is the center back, right? So what I'm going to do from this center back, I will just have to go ahead and come up here by 1/2 inch. I don't know why those things. Okay, this is another one. Come up here by 1/2 inch, or you can go up by 0.25. Let's just say 0.25 to adjust that up to prevent again the zipper from kind of looking funny. All right, so just go ahead and reconnect that point up. This way you will see that the zipper is going to be well fitted at the back. All right. Okay, now that we are done with this, the top, this is how the top is going to be. So I have to cut these pieces exactly the same on my fabric. I'll cut it on the lining, cut it as well on my fabric as well. So I'm going to keep this. I'm looking for my pins to pin them today. Falling. Pin them all together so that they will not get messy. I'll be using it tomorrow. For the skirt, it's quite very simple. Very simple. Why is this pattern looking like Maria? For the skirt, it's going to be a very long and a pencil one. A long and a pencil skirt. So first of all, I'm going to go ahead and just draw a straight line because I realized that this pattern is not straight. Trying to adjust it a little bit, which is about 3 inch. This one here is 3 inch. That's 3 inch. It's not really 3 inch, but 3 cm. Don't mind me. Is this place? 3 cm. You just have to go ahead and follow up this line to make sure that it comes out good. This line. The reason I'm doing this is just to make sure that the pattern should be good. Okay, from here, the only different, like I said, the skirt is going to be same. I'm going to be adding 1 inch. The back is going to be same except of the zipper allowance. That's the only thing we're going to be doing for the back. So I'm going to be adding 1 inch for my zipper allowance. For the back, we are drafting both the back and the front together. All right, so the only difference is the zipper allowance for the skirts, and the total length we're working in is 64, meaning that I have marked, I did, the top was, the half length is, the half length is what? That we worked when it was 19 inch, right? We have to minus that 19 inch from that point, minus from that 63. The rest will take it and drop up, cut our skirts using it. This is just a little demonstration. Like I said, the skirt is very long and I don't want to waste my pattern, which I'm trying to, my drafting paper, which I don't even have much remaining. So for the skirt, what we're going to do is to mark up the waist. I'm going to start from here. We'll mark the round waist divided by 4. I have already added 1 inch for the zipper allowance for the back. Like I said, it's the same except of the zipper allowance. So what I'm going to do is take round waist divided by 4, mark that up. Then we're going to be adding up that allowance to it, and the zipper allowance and the sewing allowance. So I'm going to be doing 1 inch for, I did, so we did 1.5 for the top. For that to be able to match up, you need to use the same thing, okay? 1.5. So I'm going to come mark from the waist to the hip depth. To know the hip depth, remember that the half length we worked with was already 19 inch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just minus that 19 inch from there, so that I'll be able to, now let's just say 18 inch because we added 1 inch for to join it up to the part. Let me do 19 inch. So my hip depth, the hip depth that I'm working with line is 27. All right, yeah, the hip depth I'm working with is 27, and the length I'll be working with is 64. So making that this pattern is going to be short. What I have there is about 40, let's just say 48 and 0.0275. Go ahead and pull a straight line right there. Okay, we'll also do this other line. Guys, please, if you have not subscribed, kindly subscribe. Subscribing is free. If you're following me up on Facebook, make sure please go ahead and follow your girl up on Facebook, Anita Handmade Creations. I'm going to be putting 1/4 of the hip we're working with is 11 inch. Ooh, she's that hippie. So the hip I'm working with is 11 and a half. The round hip I'm working with is 46. We are going to go ahead and add up. At this point, if you're going to be using a lining, you should have gone ahead and just use that, add a lining. I'm going to be adding up allowance. I've not added my allowance. Let's just mark the hip first of all here. Alright, I forgot that I finally got my hip curve ruler. My hip curve. This is my hip curve. We'll connect. You see? Connect that point up. Now for my darts, I'm going to do nipple to nipple. The bust band I'm working with is you know something, I'm not going to be adding up darts, but instead when I'm done joining the top, then I will easily go ahead and fold it up, so that will be easier, so that will match everything up. Okay, so I'm going to be minus that zipper, that allowance. So what I have there is 1.5. Let's just say that is going to be for this sewing allowance. I'm also going to come here and add 1.5 as well. Okay, making it this point. This is the new. Oh, Lita, am I okay? I'm not okay. What was I doing? What was I thinking? So we have added our sewing allowance on the skirts. It is better for the allowance to be much than for it to be smaller, than this for the skirt to be smaller. I've learned on how to add much allowance because I remember doing a project, taking time sewing it, and came. When she came, everything was just small. I cried. They're just looking at me. So I'm just gonna go ahead and measure up whatever I have here, which is on the hip depth line, which is 12.075, almost 13 inch, or not 13 inch, 12.075. Remember, I'm measuring it up from the zipper allowance. I'm just going to go ahead and mark that up. I'll be connecting it up like this. Like this. It's not a normal skirt, but instead it's a play skirt. Like I said, I'm going to do, it's not a normal skirt, but instead it's a pencil. So I'm going to minus 1.5, but I have to do this on the fabric itself because I still have more remaining. So I'm going to go ahead and connect that point up all the way to that 1.5. I went in. It's a pencil skirt. It's a pencil straight long skirt. You see, like I said, I'm going to do this on the fabric itself. So I'm just going to cut it up here. But for you, go ahead and cut it up here. All right, for me, so that I have to take this from the hip all the way straight to the hem. I'll minus that 1.5 inch, making a pencil from there. So we have the front and we have the back. So this is the front here, and here is the back here that we have as zipper allowance, the back here. All right, you cut the front 1, you cut the back 2 because of the zipper. Okay, so I'll be cutting it up. But remember that we have not adjusted our zipper allowance too at the back. We need to adjust it, because if not, we start having that funny bunch around there. So normally what I always do is just to come here like this, go in by 1/2 inch. Let me first of all cut this off. The sewing, I already bought the lining fabric, and I also have, I'm hoping that I have the interfacing already. If not, I'm just gonna use what I have there. So I already bought the lining. Obviously the sewing is going to be coming out tomorrow, hopefully. Not obviously, because no, you can't be really sure. So hopefully hopefully the sun is going to be coming up tomorrow. So this is our skirt, the zipper allowance. When you're cutting this up, make sure you fold this zipper allowance to the front. This zipper allowance needs to be folded inside. You don't need zipper allowance for the front, okay? Fold it inside like this. Fold it inside like this to cut up the front, and the front should be cut on fold. Alright, and if in case you want to add up that, I'm not adding it up because like I said, I will stitch the top. I'll just cut the skirt like this straight, but I'll stitch the top, then go ahead and add up my darts, fold it up so that everything will be matching up. So I intend to use 1.5 inch. I've just marked from the nipple to nipple. Then normally what we normally do from the hip depth line, we always go up by 2 inch. Right, connect it from there. From the hip depth line, go up by 2 inch. Then just gonna do like this. With that, so you can go ahead and create up. So this is the skirt. Like I said, so you're gonna come out tomorrow. And this is the top. And like I also said, I may change the back. I may change the back. I can just make it a square. Yeah, I think square. I did something square. It's much easier. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do square. Just pip straight square. Yeah, like I did. So for this part, like I said, we're still going to work on the zipper allowance for the back too, for the skirt. If not, you are not really eliminate anything. So what I'm going to do to come in, let's just do that. That's the remaining thing. We're almost done. So I'm going to come here like this. I'm going to come here and go in by 1/2 inch. And that 1/2 inch, connect it up like this. Okay, where later I say I'm going up, connect it up like this. Sorry, don't mind me. I almost went ahead and destroyed it. That's how I almost destroyed a shirt that was cutting and yesterday, and I did not have fabric remaining. I have to go ahead and patch change the design. Okay, this is it. This is it. So I hope you find this tutorial helpful. The sewing tutorial is going to be coming up soon tomorrow, hopefully, because I already have tomorrow, maybe late. Yeah, tomorrow is Thursday. I have, but anyway, hoping that we're going to do some part tomorrow, the sewing parts, some other part tomorrow, and then the next time we finish it up. Thank you so much. Thank you guys so much. Thank you so much. Hope to see you guys very soon. And please, if you have not subscribed, kindly subscribe to support me up. You can also give me gifts on YouTube. You're watching from Facebook. Thank you guys so much. You can follow me up too. You can subscribe to my YouTube. Same name like Facebook and YouTube, Anita Handmade Creation. TikTok too, Anita Handmade Creation. Hope to see you guys very soon. Bye-bye. Stay cool. Bye. Oh, my face. I'm tired already. Yeah.